looking at the lineup last year between the two sides, I was looking at the
There
two
we go.
lineups from last year, and we were weaker last year, even though we came into the season, um, even that so we went into that game third. You know,
Mm.
we had Varane with Lindelof, we had Shaw and Bissaka, we had De Gea who obviously had problems, and we had Fred Casemiro, and then we had Bruno right mid, Sancho left, Rashford up top, and Eriksen. It was just lightweight. They powered us. But this year we had bodies. We had Mainoo, Garnacho,
We were
Rashford. So
ready
much
for it.
threat. We were ready. And then you listen, Leacher and Varane at the centre back partnership. The fact that first 45 minutes, superb. Everybody played superbly. I thought Wan-Bissaka was excellent. The Doku's threat it was a bit frustrating that no one was really helping Amrabat. But then City were very stubborn in their play. They weren't mixing up. They wanted to go wide all the time rather than cut it back. But now we were excellent today, man. I have to say that. Fair play to Ten Hag, the way he set the team out. And as you
Absolutely.
said, no one would have predicted that. Like even when we came out the second half, the first 15 minutes, we looked a bit rocky when Haaland hit the post, didn't it?
Mm.
But other than that, like, listen, that first half, and the mentality's been a big issue this year, isn't it? But to get that goal disallowed, 1-0, then within a minute later, put the ball into the net again is fantastic. And it's that second goal is absolute outrageous. That's a goal that Man City would dream to score. That's what Pep's trying to do. That pass, tiki-taka stuff, not dash
Mm.
it to Haaland's head. And when you're taking De Bruyne off with half an hour, 35 minutes to go, you know you're in business. And they made how many subs? All the whole complement through everything. How are you
Let's
feeling, Hamza? How are
let,
you
let's
feeling?
slow it down. Let's slow it down. Let's simmer it down a bit. First of all, are you able to sit away from the light just so we can
Oh,
get
sorry.
your face on properly? Because I don't want you to be dripping so much tech in so much content, so much ball knowledge, and then like all we can see is the window. So
Sorry,
um
my bad. I didn't.
now we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. But honestly, I just need to talk about the young kids. But we're gonna get into everything properly. We're gonna make sure we're gonna get things done right because Manchester United have won the FA Cup final against Manchester City. The relief is there. There's so much to talk about today. There's so much to go through. But from my point of view, we need to start with how well Manchester United played against Manchester City in a way that they couldn't handle us on the counter-attack, in the way that we just filled up the midfield and we played a box midfield and it worked so well. We've got to get into how Marcus Rashford isn't in the England side after that incredible performance on the left-hand side, bodying Carl Walker and destroying John Stones. We've got to talk about Kobbie Mainoo forcing Kevin De Bruyne to be subbed off in the 50th minute or so. We've got to talk about how Pep Guardiola was bitter, thinking his team was the best. And we've got to talk about the facts of the matter that Erik Ten Hag has won 2 trophies in 2 seasons at Manchester United in arguably the worst era of Manchester United Football Club in the 21st century. We've got to get into it. My special guest today is, of course, Joshua Adu Donker, who's absolutely fantastic as a football commentator. Joshua, before I take
Thank
my
you,
breath
Hamza.
away with how much we've got to go through, make sure
Mm,
you're asking me some questions. Make sure you're
will
challenging
do.
me on this live stream as well, because we've got to get into it.
Yeah,
I'm
so
happy. I'm
much.
ready to go. And we're ready to talk about the facts of the matter is that after our most diabolical season as a Manchester United fan, we're actually seeing what's happening right now with Manchester United. We are FA Cup champions. Let me hear your first initial thoughts.
Oh man, so proud of the team, so proud of the players, so proud of the coach, the tactics. They never gave in. Their mentality, the concentration. So many times this season, when that Doku goal went in, you're thinking about Brentford away. You're thinking about Coventry in the semi-final. You're thinking about Chelsea at the bridge. You're thinking about so many times we've given Galatasaray away in the Champions League. Heads dropped. They didn't even what did they even have a chance in extra time? I don't even think they did. I'm over the moon for the boys because for all the rubbish that we've seen this season, they never towered it away. The mentality has dropped at time in terms of giving the leads away, losing games, but they've been 100% working for Ten Hag, 100% working for the badge. And last year hurt, man. I don't think that's been spoken enough during the season, like the FA Cup. I know it was City's story because they won the treble, but we could have stopped that happening. I mean, it was
Mm,
just so tame. It was kind of like Gundogan's goal was awful. It bounced on like 100 times past the head. It felt it was like a scruffy performance, and that's 2 finals now where City, in my opinion, haven't been good. In the FA Cup last year, I thought we were there. We should have at least taken it to extra time that day. But today, hands down, we were superb. We were absolutely brilliant. So we were threatening. We nearly forced a mistake even before the first goal. Ortega, it was an excellent tackle from Mateo Kovacic, just to get away from Bruno. He either goes to Bruno in the 6 yard box or he scores. And you just think you're building into the game and like, okay, we're doing okay here. And it's because it's Manchester City. It's because they've not lost since December the 4th. It's because they have 33 games unbeaten. You know that Rodri's unbeaten for X amount of times. You know how good they are. Is that got you worried? But if you played another team and Man City today record, I don't know, a team from in the Premier League or lower in the division, you'd probably be calmer the whole game. But because you know they can strike at will, and we've got that fragile mentality. But I just think that the first 15 minutes, you're just sitting there thinking, okay, I think okay, like we're doing all right at
Mm.
0-0. And I think it was just that pullback, wasn't it? Kovacic went behind. I don't know if it was in between Martinez and Dallo, and then Mainoo was there, and you thinking, okay, that's all right. Other than that, I think City were very limitless, and credit to Garnacho, credit to
I thought they were
Dallo.
very predictable personally when you're looking at
Yeah,
them. Always looking for
yeah,
the cross, always looking for the cutback. And when you had the extra man, Amrabat for me and for Mainoo, we had someone who was actually available to go, you know what, let me stand on the edge of the box because cutbacks has been our Achilles heel all season long.
yeah,
Brighton did
yeah,
it to us, Manchester City's done it to us as well. And you're looking at how well we can actually play when we're not conceding these stupid goals and we are learning from our mistakes by having two midfielders who can defend properly. That made it much more beneficial for Manchester United to keep ourselves in the game, especially in the first 20 minutes when they're dominating possession, they're asserting where they're going in the territory. And for me, it made it so much more comfortable to see Manchester United continue defending as well. Because even in the second half, obviously, I'm going to be shaking, I'm going to be nervous, I'm going to be all over the gap, which I was, and I absolutely was. There's no doubt about that. But I'm looking
yeah,
at it,
yeah,
Joshua, and I'm thinking, actually, besides the Haaland hitting the bar and the Alvarez chance in the end and the Walker chance. They were all in the second half. In the first half, they
yeah.
barely got a shot on goal,
They
which
did
is worrying
anything.
from a Man City point of view.
Yeah, yeah. You got the first shot, 36 minutes. I think it was Bernardo Silva, like comfortable shot for Onana. And I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of how good we were today. We're just worried about ourselves. Like
Yeah,
the nerves is like, oh, we letting ourselves down. It was not really about what they could do to us because at the time he said they were predictable. I thought, yeah, Doku had a good game, looked lively because all the rest of it. I mean, Phil Foden, where was he? Phil Foden
that's
has
the thing.
been amazing this year. He's been nullified.
Player of the season, Phil Foden couldn't turn up against Sofian Amrabat. Come on now. We expect
Yeah,
more from
Amrabat was
England's golden
sensational.
boy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
England's media will be going, oh, yeah, Phil had a decent game, but he didn't. Phil Foden got
yeah,
knocked down so much by Amrabat. He wasn't playing the way he should have been playing for someone who was dedicated player of the season for the football writers as well. And you're looking at it thinking, come on, if that's really what we got, Mainoo and Amrabat defending against Phil Foden, awful, absolutely awful from Phil Foden. My my beef with Man City and with Gareth Southgate in a way, before we get on to Gareth Southgate in a bit, Jack Grealish,
yeah. I
not
know.
even an option for Manchester
Yeah,
City. Not even an
yeah,
option for Man
yeah.
City.
That's a very good point. I didn't realize that. And last year in the cup final, he was really good. This season
Mhm.
probably been his brightest period for Man City. It's very weird. I was at
Yeah,
Luton Man City in December, and he got a goal. He was excellent. I think he got an assist that day. Um, and yeah, I think he would have caused real threat. The only threat they had in that second half throughout the game was Doku against Wan-Bissaka. Imagine
mm.
bringing on Grealish instead of Alvarez. Alvarez had the chance, of course. Alvarez went through. Only time we got cut open in the
And that
second
was their
half.
only play all
Yeah,
second half long,
yeah,
getting over.
yeah, you know.
Oh,
Um, but from just rolling it all the way back to in terms of Southgate. You talk about Marcus Rashford, he's in tears. He's in
mm.
tears at the end of the game. I was in tears, I'm not gonna lie, because just the full roller coaster or A of the season of this club, you know, and going into the game, which is filled with dread because it can be anything. But Rashford's part in that second goal was
That
sensational.
switch of play, that
To
was
play
Pogba-esque, incredible.
was absolutely sensational and a bit of arrogance from City. Like I think listen, we have to criticize them because the quality's there for Man City, but the
We
work
expect the
weren't there.
quality from there
The
as well.
quality, yeah, the
Treble winners
quality,
last
yeah,
season.
exactly. Going for the double as well, going for the double. But look at that second goal. I'm not going to take nothing away from Manchester United, nothing away from Rashford, Garnacho's ball into Bruno, Bruno to Mainoo. But why is no one tracked 4 Man United players? Garnacho is able to pick the ball up, stroll, Fernandez has the whole way. If Fernandez could go for goal and probably, would make the goalkeeper make a save, he has no pressure to slip it to Mainoo. Then Mainoo's like 4 or 5 yards ahead of Carl Walker. No one is
Kyle
near
Walker
him.
and John Stones, England defense, that's going to haunt them again this
Yeah,
summer as
yeah,
well.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that was surprising. But what a goal though. What a goal from Le Carrington. Rashford to Garnacho, obviously Bruno the captain. And big up Bruno because he gets a lot of
Big
criticism.
up Bruno
So does
Fernandez,
Rashford.
hated across
Yeah.
the entire season. We saw
Oh,
exactly what he brings to the team: leadership, drive, passion. You saw it in the players' tribune this week as well. And the
yeah,
main
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, he could have taken that glory himself. He could have walked off the pitch saying,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I won the
yeah.
game for Man United," but he didn't. He gave out a
Yeah,
real good
yeah.
pass as well. Not many defenders would have picked that up as well, which is the main thing.
Yeah, it's a great goal as well for Mainoo. First touch is excellent. Takes the goalkeeper completely away.
At the
Keeper thinks
City
he's
end, at the
yeah.
City end.
It was glorious. And then at that point, you're looking at let's just get to half time. Let's
Mm,
do that. And like you said, they didn't do anything other than that Bernardo Silva shot. And credit to the boys, man. Credit to the boys. And you have to say credit has to go to the manager, which for me makes it so frustrating because 100 times I've been on podcasts with you. I've had conversations privately with you, and I've
mm.
always said, why are we so? Why just be pragmatic?
Yeah,
I promise you, we're not going to be eighth. Be pragmatic, and you're not gonna have the worst season in the Premier League. And pragmatic doesn't mean sit deep. Pragmatic means working to your strengths all season. The play,
means being
especially the back end,
sensible.
he's been sensible. It's being sensible. It's not vacating your midfield and making Mainoo. Today, look at the Manchester derby against Man City. That was a game where we sat deep and were pragmatic. There's so many games where Mainoo, when he's not playing as a six for United, has you're not seeing those lovely touches, great battles. He had Rodri and Kovacic, Rodri absolutely destroyed in midfield from Amrabat and
Kovacic
Mainoo in the
shoved off
first
at
game.
half time as well
Yeah,
because he
because he
couldn't
was
hack it.
awful. They couldn't handle the ball. We were just
Couldn't
going
hack
through
it.
them.
Ake
They could
couldn't
not
hack
hack
it.
it. Could not hack it. And why were we playing like that against? We did it against Arsenal. We did it against Newcastle and Brighton. We started to get some sort of results. Why did we go to Palace and just open the midfield? Why are we starting ERIK and Mainoo? Amrabat's been there all year, hardly injured. Yes, sometimes he's a bit slow to pass it, but that was his best game for us. Why has he not been playing? And you look at it, why is he getting sacked? Because he's had the answers there. That's what's
You know what it was?
frustrating.
It was the fact that Amrabat and Mainoo was a partnership we needed because Casemiro was always going to be a
Yeah,
starter with
yeah,
the wages, the 5-year deal. And when he's dropped so many clangers this season, it had to be anything but Casemiro starting. Unfortunately, he was injured. Brazilian media
yeah.
saying he wasn't injured and he was just dropped. But we're not going to get onto Casemiro just yet. What I wanted to get onto was the impact that Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane had at the back. Rafael Varane's last game for Manchester United is silencing Erling Haaland, winning the FA Cup, leaving Wembley a champion, leaving England a champion of the FA Cup. He's won 2 trophies in his time at Manchester United. He was unbelievable at the back, and it looks so much like prime Rafael Varane. And Lisandro Martinez, 30 seconds in, Haaland has the ball coming in, nudges him out the way. We're just like, that's what we've missed. A bit of tenacity, a bit of aggression at the back. And even when he got subbed off, Lisandro Martinez trying to start a fight with Kyle Walker, Walker couldn't hack him. Foden couldn't hack him. Haaland definitely couldn't hack him. What's your thoughts on that being the last time we're going to see Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez, one of the best modern and one of the best post Sir Alex Ferguson centre back partnerships we've seen at Manchester United?
It's just so gutting that they've been injured,
Mm,
all season. That you're playing up against the best attack in the league. Arguably, I know Arsenal scored a lot more goals than them this year, I think. But you're playing against the four-time champions. And you know what? Even there was a ball in, Varane's box defending's 10 out of 10. He's sensational. And there was even a ball in during the first half where he heads it back, but Martinez is there to clear it away. In sync, absolute in sync. And it breeds confidence into the team. It just breeds confidence. And obviously Varane's leaving more of a financial issue. Financial, we know that Ineos want to
yeah.
make cuts. They want to save money. So I don't know. No one's come out and said if he's been offered a contract and reduced terms. I'd imagine so, but we don't know. But those two are immense. And you do have a bit of worry when you see Martinez coming off and you're thinking 20 to go because they had been so stable in the defense. But it was an illustration, like you said, why those two have been the best two centre backs post Fergie for us because you got the ball play and the tenacity, the aggression in Martinez, and the concentration and the awareness, and just the smoothness of Varane. I don't really understand. Like, yes, we haven't won the league under with Varane, but he's been sensational for us. He's not like
Unbelievable.
he's not been rubbish. People talk about like he's been a scrub every time he's played. I remember Anfield, he was excellent at Anfield early in the season, 0-0. Today he was brilliant. I just think this is I'm just thinking about the game and listening to what you were saying about Martinez and Varane. This is probably the first game this season, first game in a very long time, probably since the FA the card in the League Cup where 11 players played well. I can't,
Exactly.
Wan-Bissaka was excellent. Dallo was brilliant. The two centre backs were fantastic. Onana, one, slip of concentration or whatever, but he was fantastic in terms of his way he restarted attacks. Really good saves from Kyle Walker. The midfield, superb. Amrabat, best game in the United shirt. Scott McTominay, high pressing. He tired. You can see he's not fit. Fernandez, best for me, Fernandez's best game in the United shirt, hands down. That's
Really?
saying
That
something.
big?
Yeah, yeah. Because you know what he did? He was pressing and parrying and winning the balls, and he wasn't useless. Even when Bruno's really good, he'll kick the ball and be wasteful. He wasn't
Yeah.
wasteful. He went to ground. He showed the right type of aggression. He played the right pass at the right time. I thought, shoot, he went, nah, I'm gonna give it to Mainoo. Best performance for me. And you know why also? Because he's been talking a lot in the media. There is a bit of talk with him leaving in the
The
summer.
Players
Like you said,
Tribune, that was
the
quite
player
emotional
Tribune,
seeing it
it was
yesterday.
power, yeah, that was powerful, Dear
Mm.
United, really, really
Proper
good
rallying
piece.
cry he brought Bruno Fernandes to the team.
And wow, and he performed like that. And sometimes, a lot of United players in the last few years, they've been talking a lot, they haven't been delivering. And then
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford, someone who, for me, gets a lot of stick from United supporters. He was sensational. He ran his socks off. Even when he lost the duels with Kyle Walker, it was never like, oh, cool. I think it was only once where Kyle Walker won it once. I think it was like the first duel they had. Every time it was a battle. And even in the second half, there was a bear hug. And really, it should have been a foul to United, if we're being honest. But he was actually running the channels. It was just a really good tactic. And then when you got Hoyland at the end coming on, and what you're seeing what he did when he's running off, Alvarez, it was a sublime, sublime game. It's mad because there's only two ways United were going to win this game. We got lucky. Somehow defended really well, and we got lucky. Like the Garnacho goal, but you have to make your own luck. Or we win on penalties. But today we fully deserved it. For Pep Guardiola, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. Pep Guardiola coming out saying, "What are you talking about, Pep? What are you on about?
It goes
How,
to show that Pep Guardiola has
how
been a
did you
sore
see that game?
Pep
Did
Guardiola
you
has been a
see?
sore loser when he walked out. He really, really needed to understand that actually he couldn't find a plan B. His plan A got ruined by ERIK Ten Hag. His plan A got decimated because it took one bit of brilliance and one stroke of luck from Andre Onana and from Jeremy Doku's goal to actually break through. Haaland missed a really good chance. Alvarez missed one of the chances of the game. Phil Foden couldn't get anywhere near in that box when he wanted to try and create. And the fact of the matter is, Pep Guardiola had a really poor season from his standards. When you're looking at it, he was incredible last season in the treble. His team was incredible last season in the treble. And I'm looking at it now, Joshua, thinking with Pep Guardiola, again, probably going to have challenge from Mikel Arteta next season in the title race. He'll be looking at buying new players across the summer, of course. But I'm looking at it thinking, if an injury struck on Manchester United side can do that, no Maguire, no Luke Shaw, no Malacia, so definitely no left back in this game at all. No Anthony Martial all season, no Casemiro, no Christian Eriksen, who's on the bench to be fair. Realistically speaking, that was a game where Manchester City had everything going for them. They could have picked whoever they wanted. They left Grealish on the bench for the whole 90 minutes, Nunez on the bench the whole 90 minutes. I'm looking at it thinking, why did they not go for it sooner? They should have gone for it sooner. They couldn't get past Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I know it's great 1v1, but you have to cross it from the other side of the pitch every now and then. You have to do low balls in when Wan-Bissaka is losing his marker. His marker's never going to be there. We've seen that in the Europa League. We've seen it in the Premier League where Wan-Bissaka gets lost. He never trialed it at all. He went for the same tried and tested De Bruyne in the midfield, Foden in the midfield. He relied on some luck from the referee as well. And it was worrying to see that Pep Guardiola actually thought, you know what? There's not much I can really change here. He should have gone two up top with Alvarez and Haaland, not having Alvarez against Kevin De Bruyne's position. The way I saw it, Kevin De Bruyne should have been on longer in the pitch as well.
Yeah,
And
100%. Once you take De
that
Bruyne
high
off,
line as well,
that's
Joshua,
it.
that high
Yeah, yeah,
line.
yeah. Like I don't get De Bruyne. The thing is, he wasn't having a good game, but it's De Bruyne's final balls as good as anybody's in the game, probably on the pitch, 100%. And
You
that's something
needed
that
that in the
United
90th
like.
minute. You
You
needed it in
need
the
it, yeah, yeah.
97th
Come
minute.
on, like that was great for me when I saw De Bruyne off. I was like, okay, because you're
Mm.
gonna need Alvarez to just do what he's done. That's the only way Alvarez is gonna have that time because nothing was coming from the center. Foden wasn't able to pop shots off, so you needed De Bruyne, who what he was doing, get into the pockets. And like you said, if you think about how the game went in the second half with Doku battling Wan-Bissaka. Doku was giving the ball to, I think it was, I can't remember who the player was. He wasn't giving it to De Bruyne. Imagine giving it to De Bruyne in that space because Bernardo wasn't good today at all. Dalot had him in jail as well. Dalot
Yeah,
was brilliant against Bernardo Silva. He
unbelievable. Even
wasn't
Bruno
bold.
said on BBC, Dallow's been our player of the season
Yeah,
unanimously.
yeah, yeah,
Everyone's going to
yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that, which
yeah,
is
yeah, 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 yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. I think it's interesting. Look, City, listen, I'm not going to disrespect them as a football club or an entity. They've done marvelous stuff to be four in a row. I've got to be careful there. But
Mm.
if we're being honest, there was not a lot of criticism. You're seeing the pundits after the game. Where's this Man United been? Well, come on, let's be stupid now. The publication, the corporations that were doing the game, the broadcasting. United have had 47 injuries. It's no shit, Sherlock. We performed quite competent when we've got
Mm.
our two best centre backs. Outside Luke Shaw, that's probably our best team.
Remember, 14 different centre back
Centre back
partnerships
partnerships.
this
City
season.
not City have not had to do that. I think they've had to, two. They've
City have
rested
not had
John
to do that.
Stones.
Arsenal have not had to do that. Liverpool have
They've
not
not,
had to do that.
but,
Chelsea have not had to do that. No one's had to do that
listen,
but Manchester United.
yeah,
And we've still
yeah.
won
Look,
our cup. Incredible
yeah,
talent.
yeah. You can have those. You can call it excuses, whatever. Da, 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 but at the end of the day, well, people predicting 4-0, 5-0, people talking about 3-1 easy. And you
Mm.
know what? To be fair to United, other than that Crystal Palace game in 2024, we've not been mugged off. In
Yeah.
20 back in the 2023, we've been awful. Like it could have been six or seven. But this year, there has been some heart. There has been some tenacity, especially in this FA Cup run. Yeah, Coventry wasn't great, but credit to Coventry. Everybody's looking at Man United like, oh, we flopped it. They're a team. They seized the opportunity, got a penalty that might not have been a penalty, could have won it VAR, but we won the penalty shootout. Beat Liverpool. We went into that Liverpool game. Everybody's talking about 4-5-0. Today was supposed to be Jurgen Klopp's last game for Liverpool. It weren't. It was ERIK ten Hag winning a second trophy in 2 seasons. What a run. To beat Liverpool, Man City is exceptional. But just on that final point in Pep Guardiola, Man City, it's true. He's got to reinvent. He's got to reinvent it. As much as Haaland is superb, as much as he gets you the goals, today shows why. You just
Mm.
sometimes need a bit more to your game because when you're not throwing the ball at him, you're not flinging it in the air. You're playing with 10 men, and quite frankly, if no one believes that, they can hold that because you can see the scoreline today. Simple as that.
Absolutely. I mean, where can we go from here? I want to talk more about Lisandro Martinez and Varane, but the one thing I'm going to say before we move on to our next topic
Yeah,
is that was what you call the last dance from Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. An incredible partnership that we've seen in the Premier League for Manchester United when they've both been fit, when they've both been on form. And we saw it today in the FA Cup final. And full respect to Rafael Varane for coming over from being at Real Madrid to Manchester United and is probably going to go down as a successful signing. I know injuries have hampered him, but I'm going to call him a successful signing. Just like you said, one of the best centre backs we've seen in the Premier League for Manchester United this time around. And going from one of our best signings to two of our academy products. Come on. Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho. Where are we going to start with them? How well has Alejandro Garnacho done this season? And Kobbie Mainoo coming in mid-season as well from that game against Everton to playing away at Galatasaray to winning the FA Cup, winning goal at Wembley, silencing the Man City fans when you go 2-0 up. Incredible assist from Bruno Fernandes. How high is Kobbie Mainoo's ceiling? Then we'll get straight on to Alejandro Garnacho. So, Joshua, how high is Alejandro Garnacho's ceiling and how high is Kobbie Mainoo's ceiling? Let's hear it, my friend.
I'm gonna start for Mainoo. You know what's so
Let's
pleased me
go.
about today? Those two get their moments.
Mm.
There's so many times post Fergie we've had really good players like Bruno Fernandes, like even talking about Varane and Martinez, where they've been good and they've not had anything to show for it.
Yeah,
No matter what happens from these guys' young careers, they have that moment. Mainoo has that moment, put his boyhood club 2
yeah.
0 up against the City rivals. His ceiling, he's absolutely sensational. He is so complete in his game. He is the you cannot get the ball off him is the way he controls it. If he chests it down, both footed, his awareness, he absolutely destroyed Kovacic. And he moved to Rodri. Rodri, I love Rodri. I think Rodri was a player of the year personally this year.
Mm.
He's insane. If Rodri got injured for 5 games, Man City would be trophyless this year. That's a fact because they lost every
Honestly,
game he didn't play. So that's a
yeah.
fact. So Rodri is sensational. But Mainoo just looked and like, I'm not gonna get the ball of fear. He didn't deserve to get the yellow card. Let him play in the second half with his handbrake. He had to play the handbrake on because he's going to get sent off. Even look at the when he was dragging Haaland. Look at the size of Haaland, six
Man
foot
marking
four.
him in the box, second
Man
half,
marking him,
crazy.
he's 6'2", Kobe, to be fair, Kobe made him. He does look quite short on TV, so he's over 6 foot. Brilliant. His ceiling's high, man. I think Ten Hag in an interview with the BBC after the game said that in the British media we like to hype players up and drop them. And I'm
Yeah.
quite conscious as well to overhype him and whatever. But he is the real deal. He is it. He's 30. When people talk about Adam Wharton, respectfully, let's be real. If this man played for
When
City
Travis
and he was
talks
in,
about his
yeah,
Pape
like
Sarr as well.
Sar,
Come on,
Sar, like Travis, like
come on.
Travis, you watching this? Come on, man. Be real. Remove your agenda and open your eyes. It's like me talking about some, I don't know, someone comparing something to Foden.
Yeah.
Kobe is the truth. It's real. It's happening. He's a player. He is that guy. Do you know what I mean? He is that guy. He's absolutely sensational. And even the finish, I keep saying the finish is not easy, because
Let's
the ball
talk about
quickly.
that. Let's break down that. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's enjoy this moment, Joshua. Come on. So I've got the goal in my mind. Bruno Fernandes goes past Kovacic, passes it to Kobbie Mainoo. He then plays
Yeah.
out wide to Marcus Rashford. Cross field switch to Alejandro Garnacho, unmarked. Has got some time on his time. Wan-Bissaka underlaps in Bruno, edge of the box. Does he go to shoot? No, he passes it to Kobbie Mainoo. What made it for me was Kobbie Mainoo, who's the coolest man on the pitch for Manchester United for the whole season, loses his rag. The fan comes out of Kobbie Mainoo when he scores his goal. He's in front of silenced Manchester City fans and is nodding his head. You're seeing his head bobbing and you're seeing him go like a proper Harry Kane celebration. That was magical. That was the stuff of dreams. A boyhood Manchester United fan winning the FA Cup final against their arch rivals, Manchester City, at Wembley Stadium on a sunny May Saturday afternoon. How good was that?
I
How
think
good?
now I can't top what you just said to me. I can't top it. I can talk about the intricate of the finish, the
Mm.
instance, take it away from
Go
Ortega as
for it.
much as
Go for
going
it.
to his
Talk about the
right.
intricacy. For a
You know,
19-year-old to do that as well,
it's
FA Cup final, composure. Composure.
City have been trying to sign Mainoo since he's been 11. That's a fact.
Jeez.
He's been trying to sign.
Pep's been
They've been
looking at
trying
him,
to.
you know.
They've been
Pep's been
trying to
looking at
sign
him.
Mainoo for a long, even as much as last year before he came. They've been trying to sign, and he's rejecting them every single time. Ain't going there anymore. The finish was absolutely sublime. It was a wonderful, wonderful Wembley moment. I was speaking before this game, just in terms of United at this new Wembley. We lost the first final. What was in '06? We lost
Mm.
to Chelsea in 2018. Obviously, lost last year. I think we've lost one more other time on the top of my head. I can't remember. Of course, we lost at Wembley in 2005 on penalties to Arsenal, who we battered that day. But today, to have that modern day Wembley moment and a post-Ferg, the club is split into a couple, different areas. This is an area that we are struggling traditionally compared to what we've been blessed the last
Last
20,
time we won
30
the FA
years.
Cup, it was an academy player as well, and Jesse Lingard
Yes,
scoring the winner as
yes,
well.
yes. It's
2-1.
our heritage, and that's nothing that
Yeah.
will ever lose us. You can relegate us. We can be eighth. We can not have all the money in the world. We cannot have 115 charges on our head. We can be this. We can be that. We can be whatever. We can lose out, but we always will have youth players coming through our veins. That is a fact. Two academy projects scoring today, and mainly boyhood fan tucking it in for a sublime second.
You know what
Beautiful
made this?
player
You know what made it even more sweet? The fact that Manchester United won the FA Cup for the men's side and the women's
and the
side as well.
women's, yeah,
And
and
and Ella Toone scored a banger for the women's side. Unbelievable goal from Academy product. And Kobbie Mainoo scored the winner as well. That's what makes Manchester United so great in the modern era of all time, really. You're looking at back at the players like David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, all coming through the class of 92. So Bobby Charlton, George Best. Oh my goodness me. You're looking at these players, like I said, Jesse Lingard winning it in
yeah.
2016. That's what's incredible about Manchester United, and it continues to be, just like you said, Joshua. Kobbie Mainoo winner at Wembley, Ella Toone banger at Wembley for both the men's team and the women's team. Unbelievable. And now we've got to move on to an academy player who's come from abroad, Alejandro Garnacho. How easy was that goal? One of the easiest goals we've ever seen since probably, actually, since last season in the FA Cup final, the Gundogan one as well. Let's say your thoughts on Garnacho's incredible performance from the right-hand side. A great tactical masterclass from ERIK HAG this season, playing both Rashford and Garnacho on the same pitch, but Garnacho on the right as opposed to Rashford on the right. Let me hear your thoughts on Garnacho.
Manchester United talk about resilience. So following on from Ella Toone and Kobe Mainoo, right? Just 1 second before I go to Ganacho. I got a nice link for you. I got a nice link.
Love it.
Resilience because last year both the men's team and the women's team lost the FA Cup final. Chelsea
Mm.
lost to Man United lost to Chelsea women. Man United obviously lost to City. United women beat Tottenham 2 weeks ago. Alejandro Garnacho was the first teenager to score in the FA Cup final since Cristiano Ronaldo in
Gee,
2004. And then mainly just broke
like his
that.
hero, like his hero, like his hero. He loves it.
Like his hero. And Garnacho, you know what? He's been tired these last few games, but I think he's been an unsung hero in this team. He's played like a proper 19-year-old who plays for Manchester United. You kind of don't know where you talk about Mainoo season. I know Mainoo's coming to the top. I think
Mm.
it's a bit difficult to say that about Garnacho, but he gives you heart.
So
He's a
far, so
constant
far, so
so
far.
far. He gives you a constant threat. He's a bumblebee on a summer's day in a picnic. He is that
Love that
annoyance.
analogy.
That's what he is. That's what he is
That's
to
what he
me.
did to
That's what
Gavardio. That's what
that's
he did
why
to
that's what he
Gavardio
did.
and
You
Ortega.
know, he's frustrating because you're like, he just keeps reminding you he's 19. He might not make it. He might not be the elite. He might not reach those heights of the top wingers that we've seen play, not only for Man United, but in world football. But he's got something.
But
And
remember
even
last
look,
season as well, with his bleach blonde hair, he had a
yeah,
chance where he was sulking on the pitch afterwards because he could have finessed it into Ortega's other corner as well. The demons went to
yeah,
bed, and the demons for
yeah,
Gavardio continued from the
yeah,
World Cup in 2022. Lionel Messi, another Argentinian attacker, he just
yeah,
ruined him, and it happened again for Alejandro
yeah.
Garnacho. Talk to me more about the rise of Alejandro Garnacho that you've seen this season, being in the team all the time, starting every game under ERIK HAG, having a lot of criticism going his way. How much resilience has he had to build up this season, from your point of view, Alejandro
So
Garnacho?
many because he's been used as like a pawn as well. When United's
Yeah,
attack was struggling just before Boxing Day, Boxing Day was a big turning point for United because we stumbled across Garnacho on the right, Rashford left, Højlund in the middle. Garnacho's playing every game. He's saying he was playing with Højlund, he was playing with Anthony, he's played with Ahmad, he's played with Bruno up top, he's played with McTominay at times.
reach.
But he is a player that could do anything. And you don't believe me? Go type in that game in November against Everton at Goodison Park, where he scores that bicycle kick. He doesn't do anything other than that in the game. Scores goals like against against Chelsea at the Bridge. You got a brace that against Chelsea. Two different types of goals. Smelling danger. You saw that against Chelsea at the Bridge today. he smelled danger. The presence, Ortega was so sorry, not Ortega. Gardner was so nervous about his presence. He pushed him out of the way and headed it to him. He had to be there. The anticipation was there. But it was really pleasing is that Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho won the Youth FA Cup 2 years ago in 2022. He lifted it, Garnacho. 2 years later, he's been a big prominent feature in this season. And I don't think you can be too harsh. We've seen better youngsters from an attacking point of view from Manchester United. And that's why some people don't think he is that ilk of player. But you have to remind yourself the age, the ability. He goes one way, he goes left. He's been playing left wing, right wing. He's played like what, nearly 40 games in a row for us this year. And he looked fresh today. Last couple of games, he looked a bit, tired of ideas, but he looked a
I thought it would have
constant
been him
threat.
to drop out today if we were going to continue with
Yeah, a lot of
development as
people did.
well. But
Yeah, a
I'm
lot of
glad that
people
he
did.
didn't. I'm
Yeah,
so glad that we didn't. And it shows you
yeah.
the importance that he has in Erik ten Hag's side. When you're looking at what he brings to the team, what you're looking at, what is improved on from last season as well. His decision making. I mean, he had that shot in the second half on the near post when he nearly caught Ortega out. And I'm
Oh
thinking,
yeah,
come on,
yeah,
another
yeah.
goal. That would have settled it completely well. But
But that's what he's a wild card though. He's not predictable like Doku. Like credit to Doku, but
Man
Doku just went
United
down.
produce wild cards all the time. Marcus Rashford, I would consider a wild
Yeah,
card too for what
yeah.
he's done when he was young.
Because at that time, good actually think he's gonna cross it. He's gonna pull it back. He just went for goal. That caught Ortega out. That got us our first corner in the game. He had a good performance. I thought
Mm.
Rashford, in terms of the system, he was excellent today. But no, United have got something to build on. When I think about Mainoo and I think about Garnacho and I think about Hoyland, two young players, and both, Kobe Mainoo and Garnacho are 19, put their heart for this club this season. They've played so many games, so many experiences. They've taken that mantle on their shoulders and just need a bit sprinkle a bit more quality around them. The tools are there. The future is always bright with United. We're always not as far as you think you are in this game. And when
Yeah.
you've just gone toe to toe with one of the best sides, every week we've got to hear about how great Man City are, how great they are compared to all the best sides that we had, or the best sides Arsenal and Chelsea have produced. But we went toe to toe with them in 90 minutes, neutral ground, and deserved that victory. That's the thing. I've got Arsenal mates messaging me, I've got Liverpool mates messaging me, and they're saying fair play. They're saying
We've
well
got
done.
Matthew
They
messaging us as well, and you're
We've
just
got
like,
Matthew,
cool. Enjoy Matthew, enjoy
swear,
your day in the
yeah, yeah,
sun.
swearing at us and all this sort of stuff. But move away, neutral, being a neutral head,
Proper
just move
rude
away
from
from
him as well. And you're like, calm down. Like, come on. You were bragging up your team all season long. We're having one day in the entire season to be happy. And it's going to be much more important and much more iconic than all your games that you've had, which is incredible. And it goes to show that we've taken so much flack this season, Manchester United.
so much,
The
Hamza, so
players,
much.
the ex-players, the staff, the fans, everyone, the media's giving it to us as well. And you're like, look at what we've done today. We've beaten the best team in the country. We've beaten
By
the
far.
best manager in the country. We've played against the best players in the country. And we did it. And all BBC could talk about is why don't you play like this all the time? Can you play like this on the biggest game of the
I
season
know, I
all
know,
the
I
time?
know,
You
I
can't
know,
play
I
like
know.
that against Burnley. You can't play like that against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
But when you're
yeah,
showing
yeah,
the
no.
effort, the commitment of these players, you're
Yeah.
looking at Johnny Evans coming on and looking to slow the game down. You're looking at Victor Lindelof looking to hold the ball as a 95th minute sub. You're looking at Mason Mount looking to make a counter attack after Amrabat nearly plays him through. You're looking at the effort from these players and you're thinking, look at how far we've come this season. It is a slow process. It is a building block for next season. And it's a good segue into probably the it's a good segue into the final topic before we can just chat normally as friends. Erik ten Hag, where does he go from here? Where does the club go from here? Let me hear your thoughts, Joshua.
I think the decision has to be made. I think the owners who've come in December have their plan. They have a style of play. They've got rid of the CEO. They've got rid of the director of football. Jim Murtaugh's gone.
Mm,
Richard Arnold's gone. Patrick Stewart's gone. He's been interim CEO. They've brought in Jason Wilcox, who's now technical director. Omar Barada's now CEO. There's obviously talks of Dan Ashworth to come through to Newcastle from Newcastle as director of football. The manager's the last piece of
yeah.
that jigsaw.
You still think
And
so?
yes, there's been a decision that's been made. If he was
Mm,
to stay personally, we would have heard that already before this final. The
yeah.
United have let this run, which I think has been a bit disappointing. But I think at times we're so big as a club, sentiment plays a factor a little bit in terms of fan base. But even like rival fans or people talk, oh, it's even Alan Shearer is hilarious today because he's bitter because Newcastle are not in Europe now because we won. But
And he
before the
said
game,
that. He said that as well. He asked him a very
he,
challenging question. It's like, oh, why didn't you play like this all season long? And he's like,
yeah.
so we don't have the players.
But before the game, because he was angling his question as a dig to the club. He was
Mm.
saying, "Why has it been leaked? Why have you not done this?" And then we just won something. And then you kind of flipped your reason, changed your face to kind of say, "Well, this is why you might be sacked because we've not been good enough." End of the day, I think for
It
him,
was a proper lack of class for me because they were
awful,
on
awful.
on TV, they were going on about, oh, it feels bad that Kevin De Bruyne is with his son, is upset. It doesn't happen all the time. Oh, we feel so sorry for Pep Guardiola. Oh, Kelly Summers didn't get to interview him properly. Oh, he's not in the best of moods. Eric Ten Hag comes and speaks to them all in person, and Shearer's berating them. Micah Richards is sitting there with a glum face on. I know he's a Manchester City ex-player, but have some class about him. And it shows that how
Absolutely.
awful
Absolutely. Yeah.
Alan Shearer, the BBC were, and Gary Lineker were as well in terms of actually let's give him the flowers that he deserves. But it was awful, and they were very, very
Yeah.
bitter. Alan Shearer,
Yeah, and credit to Ten
awful.
Hag because he gave it to them as well. It was like you guys need to chill, and this is the
He kept a
situation we're
stern
telling
face
you.
on him, and I loved it from.
Yeah. I respect that because it has been a lot to this year because
Mm,
context has gone out of the window.
yeah,
Context has gone out the window when it comes to United. It's like you expect why are we struggling? And today was a really good example of Varane Martinez and players that if they were there, we would have finished Dave. Look, injuries. Maybe he's played. It's fine. Listen, because we won, and the way we won today as well has been important. I thought if we were going to win, it was a bit of luck, as I said early in the stream. The way we won, I think the decision been made by Neos. But if they were going into this game thinking it was about this game to keep him on, that was a game to show them to keep him on because of having the players back, having the system, and getting the job done. For me, I'm happy for him that he got that win. And if he leaves, he leaves, because I want United to be, everybody wants United to return to where we perceive the club to be. And you have to earn that, though. That's not arrogance. You have to earn that. Every team that finished above us this year have been better than us. Don't get twisted. That's facts. But at the same time, listen, he's some good moments and some bad moments. And he's tried to coach honestly. He honestly believed that way of playing the game was the right way in terms of opening midfield. And it's been difficult. Hold on. You've got to remember, we've got to scale back as well, which gets my nerves, right?
go
The
for it.
Glazers still own Manchester United. And ultimately, we're in this position because of the ownership. And
Mm,
when he first came in, he was given all the power to do transfers. Why? Because he knows that team is, and that setup at United is incompetent. The only reason why Manchester United have sold a share, highly a big reason, is because of PSR. And that's the only reason why the Ineos boys are here. Now, if Ineos weren't here, he would have been sacked 10 because he didn't make Europe. They have
mm.
given him time to let it breathe, right? But he's had to come in and be the recruitment manager. Yes, he's had to, lean on his Ajax contacts or whatever. He had a really good first season on the face of it. Maybe the football wasn't too good. Two finals, finished third. This year has been poor. We know that. It's not been good enough. And ultimately, look, he finished eighth, lost 14, 9 at home, dreadful Champions League campaign. Look, bigger club, Real Madrid last season,
His reluctance to change tactics has been
yeah,
awful.
but yeah, he's
Reliance on
stubborn. He's
Anthony has been
so
poor.
stubborn. He's so stubborn. Like getting back 4-0 to Crystal Palace, who did fantastic, don't get twisted, to beat us that night. Eze, Elise, Mateta, world winners. Because I don't want to come across that, you can't dismiss what
Joaquin
people have done
Anderson
to you.
too at the
Yeah,
back, solid
Jakob
at the back.
Anderson, Wharton, they were brilliant that night, and rightly so. But he's only been pragmatic against Arsenal and Liverpool this season in this campaign. And you think to yourself, why? And it's a bit annoying because today it's like, we could have played Amrabat's been there all year. Amrabat's been there all year. Yes, the defenders haven't, but you need to sit deep. So I think he's been the architect of his own destruction this year, unfortunately, and it's
And
going to be
he
bittersweet.
had to build it himself up as well, which has got to be him.
Yeah, yeah,
It's got to
yeah,
be his
yeah.
praise for today as well. But he built it,
Oh no,
he built it
yeah,
up today as well, which is
but
class.
but he's not a bad coach because I've said this to loads of people and everybody agrees it's kind
Mm.
of bad. But the odd tactic he was doing all year, where everybody's like, there's massive gaps in the middle. It was big. It's a poor tactic, but it was coached. Like when
Yeah,
you watch something, but that's why I really got to know. It's so lazy. What's Man United style? Matt always says, That's our style. The style is stupid football. It's
yeah.
suicide. Emptying the midfield and playing transitional football. It's clear what he wants to do. It's just terrible. It's just a poor tactic. But today he's not done that. He can't do that against Man City anyway because Man City want the ball and had 70 plus possession. But
That's when he
old,
learned. He
yeah,
properly learned as well. He properly learned from
yeah,
his humiliation at the Etihad. He properly learned against
yeah.
what actually happened. We go a goal up, and what does he try to do in that second half in the Etihad? He tries to still play out from the back.
Mm.
He looks to have a bit more expansion, and it didn't work. But we needed that second goal for comfort,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone knows
And we
my
got
thoughts.
yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No, just a last point on that. Sorry, from the FA again. We played longer today. That's something I noticed as well. We didn't
Yeah.
pass on the back as much. So when we went long, City couldn't press us high. It's only a few times in the first half, which I felt was impressive. But no, carry on. I want to hear your 10 thoughts. So I know that you've been very much given one season. I've been the opposite. I think a decision needs to be made, and we do need to look elsewhere. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at the fact that we've got ERIK Ten Hag, who's won 2 trophies in 2 seasons. I'm looking at the fact this had to deal with so much exterior nonsense from the Glazers, from Ronaldo, from Greenwood, from all these injuries that we've had, from the staff leaving, from the takeover, all of these little things that he's had to deal with have become big, big things for him to deal with. And the media, as you know, will always look for a scapegoat. They'll look at Ten Hag as, this is what he can't control, but we're going to put the blame on him anyway. He then gets asked these questions, and it becomes mentally frustrating for someone who's just come in to look to coach these players to become better players. And you're looking at the improvement in some of these players in Scott McTominay and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Diogo Dalot especially. Dare I say Bruno Fernandes has improved, maybe not in his goal scoring output like he did under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but in terms of his leadership, in terms of his character, he brought Harry Maguire back from the depths of he brought Harry Maguire back from the depths of hell, is what I like to say, especially this season. He put faith in Andre Onana, mostly because we didn't have a fit Tom Heaton, and Bayindir wasn't improved at the same time. I'm looking at seeing where he can improve this team going forward. And I'm looking at all the alternatives of who we have as a coach. If we are to bring in McKenna, if we are to bring in Thomas Tuchel, if we are to bring in Pochettino, if we are to look at Roberto De Zerbi, you're looking at Eric Ten Hag being a free agent in the summer. You're looking at him going to Bayern Munich. You're looking at him going to a big team in Italy like AC Milan, who have lost Stefan Pioli this season. Eric Ten Hag will succeed in coaching moving forward. He won't.
100%. Yeah, word,
But
word,
I
word.
want him to succeed at Manchester United because he's put the graft in, he's put the foundations in for moving forward. And if it is to mean that we lose the likes of Varane, Casemiro, Martial, we lose Wan-Bissaka, we lose Donny van der Beek, Brandon Williams, we lose all of these players, and we don't have as much to buy over the summer. We bring in more academy players, and look what he's done with the young players coming through. He brought through Alejandro Garnacho. He's given Amad Diallo more chances this second half of the season in 2024 than Solskjaer did when he was loaning him out. He probably wasn't ready on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he's given these young players good chance. He's given faith to Rasmus Højlund. He's spoken highly of Rasmus Højlund being his guy that, yeah, he may not be a Harry Kane of scoring 30 goals a season, but he will get there. We will work to make him get there as well. He's spoken positively about Marcus Rashford in the press when everyone has been getting onto him, including Manchester United fans from big channels that I'm not going to name because they've been key in terms of what they've had to do to bring down Marcus Rashford. Spoken
He was
highly
in
of
tears.
Fernandez.
He was in
He was in
tears.
tears, and he was crying because of all the heartache he's been put through this season.
Mm.
He showed up in front of Gareth Southgate today, and Gareth Southgate, we're going to leave it for another podcast, I'd say, for a live stream.
Yeah,
But
word, 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 word.
Gareth Southgate's got to hold that. You've got Eze, Maddison, Grealish in that squad ahead of Marcus Rashford. For me, no way. Looking at that ball, you're looking
Yeah.
at the X factor he brings. You're looking at how Marcus Rashford could take on Kyle Walker week in, week out, like he did, and day in, day out, like he did. And you're looking at it today. What did he do? He did it again. He did it again on the FA Cup final. Kyle Walker will be exposed. A 34-year-old right back will be exposed at the Euros with the likes of Mbappe, Liao. You're going to look at someone like Lamine Yamal, Inaki Williams as well. Sorry, Nico Williams, not Inaki, he's Ghanaian, sorry.
So,
But you're looking at it and you're thinking, right, John Stones, what are you going to do? You're our best centre back. What are you going to do? He doesn't even mark Bruno Fernandes properly. He doesn't follow Mainoo properly. And you're looking at Gareth Southgate thinking, yeah, these players are system players that you've got Eze, you've got Grealish, you've got Maddison, but they don't have that X factor like Marcus Rashford has. And it's very promising to see that Marcus Rashford came through this season with a trophy. And I'm really, really happy about that as well. I'm really, really happy with what we've got. If Eric Ten Hag does leave, Eric Ten Hag will leave Manchester United with his head held high. He will leave knowing that he's the first manager to beat Pep Guardiola in a cup final since Jose Mourinho back in the Copa del Rey in 2011. Do you know how incredible you have to beat Pep Guardiola in a
oh,
final?
it's so good to beat him after 2011 at
Unreal.
Barcelona at Wembley. It's so good to beat Pep. It's
Yeah.
so and to do it fair and square, no injuries. You know, no Haaland pulled
No
up, no
injuries, no
Foden,
fake VAR
no.
calls,
It's
no
your best
offside
team.
calls,
It's
no
your
BS,
team.
none of it.
Everybody was there. All your boys were there. Your Kovacic, your De Bruyne's, your Stones, John Stone. Listen, everybody was there for you, and they got beat. That's what makes it so sweet today as well. Like there's no this, no that. It was fantastic. Our best performance. We really did leave our best performance till last this year. In this game today, man. You really did. And I couldn't say it better for you in terms of Marcus Rashford and Ted Hag. I think we can, if we do part ways with him, you know, two domestic trophies, more than Arteta's done. You know, Arteta's trying to build something. Arsenal's been there since 2020. These are the facts. Don't get at me in the
Let
comments.
me put the pros and
These are the
cons onto
facts.
you
You
then,
know,
Joshua. Let me
these are the
put the
facts.
after that display, what do you want? What do you want as a Man United fan? Do you want him to stay? Do you want a McKenna, a Tuchel in? Or do you think, you know what, he's given us 38 games this season of realizing that he may not be up to the job? Or does that cup final sway your mind a bit? Let me hear your thoughts on that.
It's so hard because
Yeah.
you know why I'm so hard because I've always made my decision anyway. for a
Yeah.
very long time. Definitely since December, I thought we've got to look elsewhere because he's stubborn. He's walking into games, for the slaughter. But
Mm.
today was such a good tactical masterclass. It was so well drilled. You're seeing the tools of a good side in terms of Mainoo, Garnacho, who's the other one? Who's Hoyland, Hoyland,
Yeah.
Fernandez, Rashford. You just look at the team, thinking, oh, we had a bit more. Why not? But 38 games don't lie. You
Yeah.
can't also, you can't reward just because you won a trophy, forget about the 38 chances, especially, this 2024. He's had opportunities. Fulham came to Old Trafford and had time of their life and won, and deservedly. Everton, Sean Dyche after the game said, oh, I've never, ever come here and had so many opportunities.
Mm.
Brentford had 200 touches in the box in our area. There's so many records that were broken. We can see the
Bournemouth
amount of
too,
goals in the
especially in the win
Champions
for
League.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, yeah, the champion. Yeah, exactly. The Bournemouth game 3-0 popped off the park. He had time to kind of turn it around. He did a little bit. He won 6 in a row, beat Villa away, beat Luton away. Then it was the Fulham game, whole week to rest. We got worse when we went out of Europe. That's the worry. He can have no complaints. I'm easy either way because I think we're in good hands now. We have a football operation. You're not gonna get everything right because they're not the Glazers, but
Mm.
we have people who care about the football team, and we've not had that. We've been playing with our hands tied back for a very long time. That's going to change. That's a big win for us. So I think we should still make the change. I'm just happy that we had this day, and I'm more than happy because I would have taken a jammy 1-0 win, a penalty shootout, but to win it and the way he did it. Listen, as you said, he can coach. He will coach somewhere else. He might even go Chelsea. He might go Brighton. Who knows? And he'll be successful. But at the same time, I don't think you can have the season we had because if it goes really bad next year, because he's only got 1 year left in his contract, it's obvious that Ineos don't want to. They would have signed that deal. They would have done what Mark Skinner done
Yeah.
on the women's side. So Manchester United women manager Mark Skinner is renewed for 1 year. He was going to his contract was running out end of the season. They renewed 2 days after the FA Cup final. They've not done that with Ten Hag. So they have meddled in footballing decisions without Dan Ashworth, without having all their key men in place. And it's normal in life. You open, buy a house, you clear the furniture in the house. You buy, if you have, businessmen, you don't keep all the stuff. You make changes. And he's just unfortunate. He could have been top four this year and won the FA Cup and still been sacked. That's the
Mm.
thing because the club want to play a certain way. He says boldly he wants to play transitional football in the preseason. That might not be what Ineos want. He might have said, no, I want some recruitment. We don't know. I think mutual consent. I genuinely think it is mutual consent. I really do think it is mutual consent that will happen. But either way, I'm happy
We'll
either
have to wait
way.
and see on what happens with that as
Yeah,
well.
man. But we
It's all
won today,
theoretical
man.
as well.
13 times, man. 13 times. City are still stuck. Oh, how many times they won it? Six or whatever, eight, seven. We've
Yeah.
won it 13 times. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Another trophy to add to our mass collection. One behind Arsenal now. And did you see Arsenal tweeted something about their 14th? How small time? Where's your Premier League? Where's your Premier League? I was
Where's your
11 last time when
trophy?
you
Where's your
And
trophy,
the reason
Arsenal
and the
fans?
reason I
I
reason I
see
go to Arsenal because they talk too much, reveling too much in our downfall,
Joel
and they're very
Bayer
good.
on his show always
Yeah,
having the Premier League
yeah,
trophy.
where is it? And they're a good side. I like
Classless.
Arsenal. I think, yeah, Arsenal, fantastic side. Deserve to, maybe
Their
win the
fans
league this
make
year.
it
But
hard to like them.
yeah, that's the problem. And you talk
Yeah.
too much. So respectfully hold that today because you guys, you just, anyways,
Just
let me
just
not
to
talk
end
too
our
much.
live stream, we're going to go through every single player that started the game today, and I just want to hear your thoughts and obviously throw some questions at me at some of these players. So
Yeah,
start
we'll
from
do,
back
we'll
to
do.
front. Andre Onana.
Really good game.
Mm.
Really good game. The glass is half full for his
Yeah.
season. I look at his campaign and I think he's had a shaky start, but he's turned around the corner. He's definitely turned that corner. He was
He came
fantastic
back from his
today.
shaky start. He came back from
Yeah.
being dropped for Cameroon at AFCON as well. He's brought his leadership to it as well. I liked his speech in the overlap this week with Gary Neville. I
Yeah,
liked what he
yeah,
was saying
yeah.
to ESPN, saying, "Oh, my killer Rashford will score this time. Don't talk about him like that. He's a grand player as well." And you're looking at Onana, that save from Kyle Walker. Oh my
It's
goodness,
really good. Really good.
real save, fantastic that he had. He finally got his trophy against Manchester City. Remember last season,
Yeah,
fantastic
yeah.
display in the Champions League final. Couldn't win because Rodri won the winning goal against Andre Onana. But this time, Andre Onana is leaving that pitch as a winner against Manchester City. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Excellent. He's had a really poor second half of the season, I think. He was dopey
He's
for
learning
the
to play left back, to be fair. He's learning a whole
yeah,
new position at the striker
he
in
was
25, 26.
he was very dopey in the Coventry game. You could see, the VAR decision, he was the last player, but he was excellent today.
Mm.
That might have been his last game as well. I don't know about you, but he looked like he might give way because Dallow's been so good at right back, and we need a proper left back. And Dallo
Yeah.
has definitely cemented himself as our right back. Your thoughts of him
All
leaving?
I'm saying is, if we sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka, if Man United let go of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we have to let go of Luke Shaw. That part-time footballer can't be collecting FA Cup medal after a bit part performance this season
Yeah.
and
Did he
every
play in the
other
cup? I
season.
don't. Yeah.
Every other season, he's
Yeah.
always out with injuries. I know he had that horrific injury back in 2015-16, but he can't keep getting away with this. He really can't. Jesse Pinkman,
Yeah.
edit it in for
Yeah.
me. He really
Yeah.
can't because
Yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka's always there, even when he's not fully fit. He's fully playing for the team, and he did really well. Besides that goal against Jeremy Doku to hold him in those 1v1s, he was critical in this game as well. But if Aaron Wan-Bissaka is on his way out, Luke Shaw has to go at the same time. We
I agree
can't.
with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I mean, Ten Hag said today before the game, he did an interview with Dutch media saying like, Luke Shaw can't play 60 games or he can't play X. Why is he here then?
Yeah,
And I
don't get
think Luke
rid of
Shaw's
him. Get him off the
brilliant
high
for the team.
wages. Get him
But
off.
if you're
Get
not
him off.
play, yeah, like if you're not fit,
And if it's
because
in the England squad as well, it's embarrassing. Oh yeah, I'll keep
yeah, I
myself
know,
fit for the
yeah,
country, but not for the
yeah,
club that pays me.
yeah,
Awful.
I
Absolutely.
know. I agree with you. I like Luke Shaw as a player, but it's double standards, isn't it? Players like Rashford, we'll get to Rashford later as you do the lineup, gets
Yeah.
belted, even Bruno, who are turning up, who are
Mm.
blatantly playing up, who are injured. You got some players who aren't doing that. But what about
Rafael
you,
Varane.
Varane? Yeah, you go first. What a final dance. Talk to me about Varane.
Rolls-Royce defender. He brought it back to his prime like he was at Real Madrid again. He kept Haaland quiet all game long. And for me, it was so enjoyable to see him back. And he's been one of my favorite signings post Sir Alex Ferguson to watch live at Old Trafford as well. And the fans at Wembley got a treat of a defensive masterclass with Rafael Varane. I'm really happy that even if he is going to stay in Europe or if he's going to move somewhere else, I hope we get to see him shine in the Champions League next season because he's still a Champions League quality centre back. He may not be able to play every game for his next club, but for the fact of Rafael Varane, of a talented centre back that he is, he's got so much more to give to the game. What a fantastic player. And I'm glad his last dance with Lisandro Martinez, who I'll come to you for this one as well, was lifting the trophy. And him, I'm just in awe of Rafael Varane. Fantastic centre back performance.
What a player, man.
Lisandro
What a
Martinez,
player.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
Mm.
He showed us everything that we've missed,
Yeah.
everything we missed this season from him. Why are we so good? The calmness, even the little
That
balls
turn
that he
against Kevin
plays
De
in.
Bruyne as well. That turn
Yes,
against
yes,
Kevin
that's
De Bruyne. I
exactly.
loved it.
Those things we just ease. United look nervous at the back, so easy to press. He throws the ball to McTominay where he's got space. He gives the ball to Mainoo. The aggression, like you said, the little things. I remember his first home, his first no second home game against Liverpool when he
Mm.
pushes Salah and he's just like, yeah, I'm up for it today. The same thing he did, but he just pushed Haaland a little bit in the box, and you're like, yeah, you're not gonna have a free reign. Yeah, you might be taller than me, but you're not gonna
All
score.
the hype memes are out the window. All the hype memes are out the window for Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah. He
He
was
shut people up today.
sensational. Yeah, good header. Just showed us what we missed and why he is so rated so highly in our team, and he's so important for a Ten Hag side. And he was
Yes.
brilliant today. And I
The
was very
build
well
up
when
from
he
the back
came
as
off.
well.
I was nervous, man. So I said it. I'm sorry.
The composure from the build up as well for Lisandro Martinez. It
Yeah,
shows Man United fans what they've been missing. And more importantly, it shows football fans what's been missing from Erik ten Hag's team this
mm,
season. The composure, the long range passes to get over the defenses as well. Incredible range of passing ability from Lisandro Martinez. Showed so much fight in what he's got to bring for Manchester United next season and for Argentina in the Copa America coming up this summer as well. So I'm looking
yeah.
forward to seeing more from Lisandro Martinez. And what a stellar performance against Erling Haaland, who's been considered the best striker of this modern generation as well. So it goes to show Lisandro Martinez, when he's fit, there's not many better left-footed centre backs out there that should be playing the style of football for Manchester United. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings next season. Diogo Dallo, your player of the season. Let's hear it.
You know what? You know what? He wasn't my player this season. I have to be honest with
He
you.
wasn't. No,
Before today, which is crazy because that wasn't his best performance. I've just felt we've had
I felt
such
he
a
he did very well against Bernardo Silva. I
oh
did.
no, he was brilliant today. I just felt at times because we've had such a poor season, he's just been competent, and that's been
Mm.
enough, you know. And it's just been like, he's going to be our best. But today he had Bernardo Silva in jail. The
Yeah.
ball to Garnacho, his reading, and also the passion, absolutely fantastic. And he's the players of the season. You know what? On reflection, he made me reflect. Not only today, but during this week, they reflect. Um, he has been our best season, our best player this season because of his consistency of his performances, and that does deserve the accolades. And he was fantastic today. I know you're a major fan of his.
With Diogo Dallo, I'm just like he can play out of position and still play well. You could have played him at right mid, or left mid, and you still would have done the job as well. But his discipline today is what impressed me the most when you're seeing him against Bernardo Silva, one of the most trickiest customers in the Premier League in that attacking final third. The fact that he stayed on his feet, he didn't dive down in the penalty box as well. That's what reassured me. He learned from that Madueke mistake back in the Chelsea game in Stamford Bridge. So I was really happy with what Diogo Dalot offered. More composure in the defensive third as well. Sofyan Amrabat, let me hear it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Top three performer today. He made the difference. He
Best
made the
performance in the
difference.
Man United shirt for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100 easily. He made
Mm.
the difference because I think without him, that type of midfielder would have struggled today. He
Yeah.
plugged the holes. He followed everybody, and when he
Not to
won the
be rude,
ball,
but Casemiro couldn't make up the ground that
no
Amrabat
way,
did.
no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Um, Casemiro, he's had a really poor season, only at centre back, but as also a defensive midfield as well. He's looked very leggy, winning the ball today,
Yeah.
pushing the players. He was excellent against Doku as well. He doubled up with Wan-Bissaka. So the battle of Foden, he threw Foden to the ground. He was brilliant,
Yeah.
and we've seen that a few times. Forest away in the FA Cup, he's played left back. We've seen it against Liverpool at Anfield when he has played. He's rarely played. We saw it against Arsenal at home when he started. These are games he started in. But even in those performances, he was giving the ball away a lot. Today he didn't. I mean, it was one loose pass at the far side he gave to one, defender up to Wan-Bissaka, wasn't it? Other than that, every pass is sensational. I don't know what the statistics is in those pass completion, but he was brilliant. Top three performer for today in his best shirt, best performance in United shirt for sure.
I'm just going to put my charger on, but I'm going to let you, and I will also talk about the match winner, Kobbie Mainoo.
Oh man,
Talk to the audience, Joshua. Talk to them. Talk to them.
honestly, Kobe for me is I'm running out of
19
words
years
to describe
old.
him.
19
We've
old
seen
match
we've
winner.
seen so many talents through the club, come through.
Top
Of course,
table for a reason.
Stop ball Sadaf. He said in an interview yesterday he wants to be Mainoo. He doesn't want to be, called Sadaf, Stockball Sadaf, but he plays like him. He's absolutely fantastic.
Celebrated
We're,
like him as well.
we're
Him with
so
the cup.
lucky.
What a moment.
We are so lucky to have him in our team. And I'm just so excited to see what the future can bring. But it's so, as I said to you also during the stream, I'm just happy that he has a moment in the United shirt. He
Mm.
has a moment where he is shone. And he was good today. These guys were good today. It wasn't just about the goal. It was everything. The way he dealt with Rodri and Kovacic. Listen, City are City for a reason because of the great players they
It
have.
shows the levels because remember last season in the FA Cup final, Fred Casemiro, Fred would always win the ball back, but he would lose possession, and we go chasing against it all over again. Mainly wins the ball
So
back. What does he do? He holds the ball. He keeps the ball possession. He keeps it playing tiki-taka with Rashford on the wing, McTominay, Amrabat, Bruno. He's looking for that pass over the top of the defense. He can do that. And that's what he can offer England in the summer as well. And you're looking at it thinking, Adam Morton, yeah? Gallagher, yeah?
it's just stupid when people like talk. It's like, yeah, we get it. You hate United, they're like cool, but remove your bias. Just watch. Like, come on, just talk. Just
Objectively
watch
watch.
football. Just
Objectively watch
watch
it.
him. Like, he's really good. Like, and to the point where I said I read out superlatives. I don't know what to even say to describe him. When you ask me that question, I'm just like he's good. He's amazing. I can't
Be
because
your
he's
player of the
so
season.
complete.
He's mainly
He's
your
so.
player of the season for Man United.
I think he's the game changer. I think without him, boy, I don't know where we'd be. I
Mm.
think we'd be 10th. I really do because one game's alone, a moment of quality. Because you know what? He's a Manchester United player because he instills fear. You're going into those games as a opposite number thinking, okay, what's this kid about? Okay, whoa, I can't get the ball off him. You've seen the goals, you've seen the contribution, you've seen the tackling, we've seen the vision. That goal against Wolves doesn't get spoken about enough because he's had so many better, he's done better things in individual games. But you look at that Wolves goal, wow, in the circumstance, how late it was in the game. Brilliant, brilliant player. And we're lucky. And Carrington's done it again. He is a superstar. We just keep producing wonderful players. I mean, you take it from
Staying with Carrington,
me.
Scott McTominay. I mean, he's
A
been around
player
a
who
while now. He's a great squad player. He came in clutch a lot this season. Chelsea, Brentford. He's been incredible. Liverpool in the FA Cup quarter-final as well as opening goal. A lot more discipline today, and that's what I loved about him. He did a job for the boss on Rodri, on Foden, on De Bruyne, like he does time and time and time again. He was looking for that final pass. He went for a couple shots here and there. I was really, really comfortable with Scott McTominay for the first time in a long time in that midfield because I think, you know what? He knew what it meant to be a Manchester United player in the cup final, especially after last season. And it was crazy because he missed out on the starting 11 last season as well. Fred, Casemiro, um,
Ericsson the 10,
Eriksen 10, Fernandez right. Then I think it was Martial,
Sancho left, Sancho left, and then it
Sancho
was
left for
Rashford up
Rashford
top.
up top as well. McTominay knew what it meant. He knew what was
He
needed.
knew what it meant. And if you know what if you just remember, he had a really good chance in the final last year, but Rodri did an amazing goal
Yeah,
line
yeah, he got tipped
save. Do
over
you
the
remember?
bar. Yeah, yeah, afterwards. Yeah, I remember. He
I,
mistouched it as well when Varane and
yeah.
Wilson had to get onto the second ball.
I'm so happy he won today because it's very rare. It's only happened twice where you get the same teams from the previous final. It's never, it's the second time, a second Manchester derby final because obviously City, really weren't really up to much in the big leagues. Let's be honest. Before they were bought in 2008, these are facts. Don't come and shout at me because 25 years ago they were having their finest moment in '99. If you know your history, if you know your ball, beating Gillingham in
Mm.
that elite in that Division Three. We shall not be moved. That's the famous chant for City. So I do know my history. So I'm not going to go and throw a little jab without having some context. But this is the second Manchester derby that we've seen, and I'm just so happy for the boys. You look at McTominay and Maguire; they're on their way out. Man United accepted bids for Scott McTominay in the summer to go to
Yeah.
West Ham. They were accepting the bids to go the other way. So yeah, he did a really good job. I thought it was, look, he's as you mentioned, a squad player. It probably doesn't have the top quality in the midfield. Has a great, a smell for goal as a 10 running onto the box. And I'm happy for him. He's got his moments. I mean, I don't think he wasn't part of the team in 2016. So, two trophies. These are the players that, when it's all said and done, they'll look back in their career because they've had moments and performances that's deserved these moments today. And I'm just so happy we beat City today. I'm so happy. Not even halfway through the team, but I'm so happy we
No,
beat
we're
City
nearly
today.
there. We're nearly there. I'm going to go
Oh,
to Carrington one last time. Marcus Rashford. Let's hear it.
a really,
It
really
takes a
resolute
lot. It takes a
performance.
lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
You know what? You know what? It's tough, man. With
Mm.
Rashford, I was nearly in tears at the end of the game, and I felt his emotion. And if it is his last game for the club, if he goes that way,
Don't say
he's
that.
got that in
I
his
want him
locker.
next
I don't want
season.
it to be
I need him to
400
stay there.
games, 400 games this year. I don't get the criticism. I don't get it. He
Yeah.
scored 30 goals for us last year, 30 plus goals last year. No one post Fergie's got near that number. Not your Zlatan Ibrahimovic, not your Van Persie's, Falcao. I think the list can go on. He's the only player that's done that. He's not had a good season this year, but he's still
Mm.
giving us good moments that go at the Etihad. And today he ran his socks off. But that diagonal ball to execute it,
Yeah.
come on. Loads of players don't track back, but we don't see videos every game. Leave him alone. He's one of ours. Do you think Arsenal fans, much of dislike, do you think they will talk about Saka like that? They don't talk about
Never
their
do.
homegrown
They
Everton.
never do.
They'll
You can see
never
them
talk
talking
about
about
Saka like
limping
that.
and they'll defend him till the cows go
The
home.
end of the end of the year, what we need to get behind him. Can he
Yeah.
do better? Has he been disappointed this season? Yes. But I don't get this thing. We need to sell him. What? Sell one of our best. He's one of our best players. What to
Yeah.
do? What? Come on, 400 appearances, 26. So disgrace he's not an England squad, in my opinion, because what you said, it doesn't be an X factor. England haven't got any players like that.
Yeah.
Not Phil Foden, Jared Bowen, and who's the other player that's got picked ahead of him? I like Anthony Gordon. He's got a bit of
Jared
PMP.
Bowen, Anthony
But,
Gordon,
but
Eze,
these man,
Ma-
these guys,
Madison,
these,
Grealish, Tony
he,
even.
he was the top goal scorer
Gareth
for England at
Southgate
the World
owes
Cup.
Marcus Rashford an apology.
Yeah. I don't understand that. He's the only players that come off the bench and just smack it top bins. We ain't got a player like that in the England team. He was good today. He's not fit, 100% not fit. Gets way too much abuse. And someone like myself and like you as well, who is Team Rashford, and I think every United fan should be Team Rashford. He might not be a cup of tea. There's players I don't like in the team, but he's
Mm.
United, and he's United through and through. We'd all kill to be in this position, and he's
The thing is,
he's
he gets
stuck
it
there
more.
and
He
he's
gets
won.
it more than the fans. That's the thing, because he gets it.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
fan. He plays for the team. He's seen what goes
yeah,
on behind the scenes, and he can only do so
yeah,
much more with
yeah, yeah.
what we've had to deal with as well. Alejandro Garnacho.
Oh, you go, man. You go. 'Cause I spoke about him, didn't I, about his ceiling. I want to hear your thoughts on him. I've already spoken about him already, innit?
I mean, we're only 2 seasons and watching Alejandro Garnacho play, start, and excite Manchester United fans. I'm really excited to see what he does. He should be getting into that Copa America squad for Argentina, but scoring the opening goal, again, the youngest goal scorer since Cristiano Ronaldo in an FA Cup final. Big moment player for Alejandro Garnacho. Iconic goal against Everton in the Premier League earlier this season, but that goal in the FA Cup will go down in Manchester United history for years to come. People will remember him. They will know his name, and he's got a real talent about him. I think he's going to be a starter for us next season. I hope he's going to be starting with Rashford on the left-hand side, and we've got more to come, especially like we said, if we're selling Greenwood, selling Sancho, selling Martial, we'll have new teammates to link up and work with as well. I need to see him become a lot less greedy going ahead. But without the striker today, with just the false nine and Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, it showed that he needed his teammates, and he learned his lesson today by holding the ball up properly, waiting for Wan-Bissaka to come in, and he took Josko Gvardiol for a run today. I'm really happy what we saw as well. Finally, our captain, Bruno Fernandes. Let's hear it.
I've already said it already in the stream. Best performance of Man United shirt, hands down, easily.
Yeah, he did
Everything
so
about
well.
it. He led the line. He spoke. He spoke in the
Get
week
behind
brilliantly.
us one more time. Your captain, Bruno Fernandes, little signature. That
He walked the
signature
walk.
from Kobbie Mainoo as well. Wow,
He's
unbelievable.
he was sensational. Magnifico. He's won all the domestic trophies now. League Cup.
Yeah,
Obviously got the FA Cup, lifted the trophy their first season as a captain. And fair play to him because he gets a lot of stick. Obviously, people moaning at him all the time, right? But he's
yeah.
spoken this week about the difficulties of the season. They've not been up to it. They've not been good. And he said, listen, talks about Onana said in the overlap interview, give it
Mm,
to me.
yeah.
Don't just,
Take the
give it to
ownership
other
on.
people. Like, yeah. Like there's a VT ITV that was talking about the previous, United finals, and he was saying like resilience. He gets what it means to Man. Like, he wants to win.
Mm.
And he's turned. Listen, he's not had a good season, the majority of it, but he still had big moments. And today he had a blinding game. And I'm really impressed with him because he's disciplined. He never wavered from that passion. He was really good winning the ball back and then making good use of the ball that he won. So I'm really, really happy about that. So yeah, I think his
It
best performance in
reminded
Man
me of
United.
that clip. It reminded me of that clip. You remember that old man talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka? He wins that ball back so much. It's like that for Bruno
Yeah.
Fernandes. And I said on BBC Radio as well this week, I said the key battle will be between how Bruno Fernandes deals with Rodri. Does he deal with him alone? Does he have someone next to him? Having Scott McTominay next to him worked so well because it meant that no one left him. When Rasmus Højlund came on the pitch as well as a sub, he would stop the passing lane going into Rodri. And it goes to show the importance of Rodri for Manchester City. When you can shut him down, you stop the build up in midfield. And it works so well because they kept rushing in their crosses, shooting from 35 yards out. No cutbacks were available for Manchester City to get onto. And it worked because of the starting press of Bruno Fernandes winning the ball back, stopping the ball going in as well. I can't not appreciate what is done as well.
Do you
And
think best performance? Do you think best performance of United shirt? I know it's high. I know it's a hype into saying I'm gassed and adrenaline, but generally speaking, I think it is really. I know, I know this.
I think for me, his best performance as a Manchester United captain, for me, I'd happily say that 100%. Because there was a game where I think, you know what, that game against Manchester City under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he first came in, when he first was working with Anthony Martial, that was a big performance from him as
Yeah,
well.
he was good then.
And the
Yeah,
Liverpool game as well this season. Remember playing centre back, injured, barely
yeah,
having a
yeah,
90
yeah.
minutes, 20 minutes. Great performance. But as a captain, that was his best performance as a captain, leading us to silverware. We've seen him not play well in the Europa League final against Villarreal. We've seen him lose last season after scoring a penalty, but it was less about him and more about the team. And that's what Man United fans deserve and represent as a club. It's all about the team and what happens with it, which is incredible. And what is also incredible is we do have to leave the stream and go back to our normal lives. But any final thoughts, any final conversation pieces from yourself, Joshua? We've gone through the players, we've gone through the team, we went through the tactics, the setup, everything. I don't know how I'm going to clip this.
I,
I'm very proud
I
of us.
think, I think for me it is what a run to beat Liverpool at home. What I mean, I just didn't want
The
the
way we
game.
beat Liverpool.
The way we beat Liverpool away,
Mm.
was just this run has been hilarious.
Yeah.
Newport 2-0 up 2-2. We won that comfortable against Wigan.
Bloody
Forest last
Coventry.
minute header.
Bloody
Yeah,
Coventry. Oh my God.
Coventry, where I was in Malta, losing my head. I was on
Oh,
holiday for my birthday. Jesus. And but to beat Liverpool and Man City and beat them fair and square, none of this sort of like, oh, it's offside.
yeah.
To do that has been, marvelous. What a cup run. And I will always remember 2024 on a cup run. And Man United, we've been to the FA Cup final more times than anyone else because I think
Yeah.
this was our 22nd final, record breaking final, and we've lost a lot. We've lost a few in this 21st century, as I mentioned earlier in this stream, and we were on course to lose three in a row if we didn't win today. So it's nice to end that kind of like barren run. Mason Mount's even got a trophy. He failed three times with the
I
Chelsea,
love
first
it.
time with
I love
United.
it with
So
Mason Mount. I love it. Failed 6 times at Wembley to win a trophy. And on his first time in Manchester United, his leaving there with silverware. He had a nice little cameo coming on as well. We're expecting more from Mason Mount over the summer, bouncing back,
yeah,
trying to get back into that England squad, of course. But
yeah,
it's all about Manchester United. It's all about Erik ten Hag. Today is our day. And as
100%.
opposed to me screaming voice notes and screaming at my television, scaring my wife, we had to do this live stream and wouldn't have happened
Yeah,
without you, Joshua. So thank you very much for your time.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate
Pleasure.
it, man.
Remember, like you said, you're going to remember 2024, not just because of Manchester United winning the FA Cup, but for all of these live reactions we've had for Manchester United. It's going to be
Yeah,
on social media. It's going to stay on YouTube for as long as possible. And without further ado, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much. But my final word, my final topic of conversation is Manchester United cannot sack Erik ten Hag after that performance against Manchester City. Kyle Walker, go find some more kids that you've lost previously. Sandro Martinez will take you out for a walk if needs be as well. And Manchester United are FA Cup champions of 2024. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Take
United.
United, 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 and we'll see you next time. We've seen it all. We've
We
won the
won on it all.
we're Man United and we're never gonna stop. Away,
Ole,
away,
ole,
away, away,
ole.
away, 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 away.
We've
We've
seen
seen it all.
it all.
We've
We've won the...
loved,
I'm just loving it.
we've loved it, loving
I
it.
did.
That's it for domestic football this season. We'll see you again on our podcast as always. We'll see you in the studio. We'll see you for live streams for the international tournaments coming ahead. And yes, Joshua Adu Donker is joining us for more content. See you next time. Take care and goodbye.
Take care, everyone.
Oh, and thank you for 1,000 subscribers, by the way. Fantastic. I appreciate that.